Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of
Race Rats podcast. You're having fun doing it, aren't you?
Yeah, I feel grown up.
Feel grown up.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We're back this week for my favorite race of the season. My favorite week of the season. Austin, Texas, for the Circuit of the Americas.
You know, it only occurred to me recently. Every time you said coda, I
Circuit of the Americas.
did not realize that that's what it was, and I imagined it was spelt like Koda or
No,
something.
Coda Week.
Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, what? Why is it called that if it's in Austin? But I figured it out.
And unfortunately, our fave Danny Rick was not there this year for his favorite of the year as well. But his spirit lives on in all the cowboy activities that we got to see for the week.
Remain.
All the cowboy activities. Hence today I'm wearing my sparkly blue cowboy hat, which is a little bit damaged at the moment, to match my new Williams Racing Carlos tee in preparation for next year. I'm just getting ready.
Well, I'm wearing my glow in the dark ghost Mickey Mouse shirt because Halloween is very soon.
Which is why we also have 3 new co-hosts this week joining us. We have Candy Corn Cow, Vampire Teddy, and Little Devil Bat.
They're so cute.
They're very excited to talk about the Austin Grand Prix. But getting straight into it, it is the first of 3 weekends in a row. We've got another triple header after a month break. It was a sprint weekend, which means only one practice session, and then straight into the excitement.
Straight on into it.
So not much really happened in the practice session other than a lot of people spinning out because there's bits and pieces of the track that have been replaced. So they're having fun figuring that out.
Bit of drama.
Not drama, just figuring out tire setup in one session instead of 3 this week.
Why did they have to replace parts of the track?
Wear and tear. Where the track is built, there's like swamp marsh underneath, kind of.
Oh,
so
okay. Makes sense.
Bits and pieces kind of crumble and fall away over time.
Did you know the entire city of Berlin is built on a swamp marsh?
I didn't know that.
So most of the buildings.
Don't race in Berlin.
Yeah, most of the buildings in Berlin are copies. Like basically none of the buildings there are original or historic. Well, they are historic, but like not original from many years ago.
Oh, okay.
The more you know.
The more you know. The Ferraris had a great week this week from the get-go. The upgrades they brought in, I think Monza, that have been a bit iffy up until now, finally worked their magic. Oh my god, I can see a spider on the wall.
Stop. Oh, I see it. It's just a little one.
It's not a little one. Alright, let's move on so I can kill it after. Oh, okay.
Anyway. You're not gonna kill it.
Anyway, moving on from Spidergate. Yeah, not much really happened during FP1, other than unfortunately Franco not having a good run.
Oh, that's sad.
Finishing down in P19 in the times. Anyway, we did see it finish with the top 3 being Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, and Max Verstappen.
Pretty good top 3.
Happy to have Carlos up there.
Yeah.
In saying that, the McLaren boys with this championship fight were in 4th and 5th, so they weren't that far off. Then we had sprint qualifying, which pretty interesting. Um, we had one big shock exit in SQ1, sorry, which was Oscar Piastri due
Oh,
to
really? I didn't realize.
yeah, due to track limits
Oh,
and his lap time being deleted,
oh.
which meant he started the race down in P16, the sprint race. Also, Albon had a spin out at the end and wasn't able to improve his time, so he was also out in SQ1, which was upsetting. So the first 5 out for the sprint race were Zhou Guanyu, Valtteri Bottas, Alex Albon, Esteban Ocon, and Oscar Piastri. Unfortunately for me. Then we had SQ2, which again saw some people just getting lap times deleted because that was happening a lot this weekend. SQ2 saw us have more track limits exceeded and lap times deleted, seeing the next 5 out being Daniel Ricciardo's replacement at VCARB, Liam Lawson, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, my favourite Frenchman, Pierre Gasly, and Sergio Perez.
That's interesting.
Moving on. A name I haven't said that made it into the top 10. Franco Colapinto.
Oh, color
Franco
Pinto and the
Colapinto.
color points.
Not yet. This is just qualifying.
Well,
But
jumping
in the
gun.
potential collar points.
Yeah.
Colapinto in the potential collar points. Starting the race in P10. Ahead of him, Yuki Tsunoda, Kevin Magnussen, Lewis Hamilton,
Okay.
Nico Hulkenberg.
Okay.
So we got both the
Haas
Haas
yeah.
in SQ3. They were having a good run, honestly.
Yeah.
They had a good run in Austin. The American team. Haas is American, so American soil.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
Oh, that's true. I always forget that Haas is American.
Yeah. In that fuck-ass P5 spot, Carlos Sainz.
Oh, yeah. He's always in that spot, isn't he?
Yeah, it's painful. Fourth, Lando Norris. Staying with top 3, rounded out by Charles Leclerc, George Russell, and pole position for the sprint race, Max Verstappen. Yeah, not much else to say about that. Here's what it is. Then we go to our sprint race. The sprint race, which for us was at 5 a.m. 4 a.m., 5 a.m. 5 a.m.
You just reminded me of something. This is kind of related but unrelated. I saw some like online fans getting annoyed because of the timing that the OzGP tickets were going on sale.
Stop! No, I remember that because there was one girl that got roasted for it because there was a delay. The day the general sale tickets were supposed to go on, there was an issue with Ticketek. It got pushed back a day. This one girl starts going off, being like, "Why can't you make it more accessible for the European fans? Because we've had to get up so early for these tickets."
How do you think the Australian fans feel? Also, it's the OzGP. Of course, it's going to be an Australian time.
Yeah, we don't make the European ticket times accessible for Australians.
Yeah, exactly. Just get over it. Well, she's just delusional.
Don't be dramatic.
But I just thought that was
everyone
hilarious.
roasted her for that.
Girl, just
if you want to come to us for the GP, power to you, whatever. Do not try and make us change to fit your schedule when it's an Australian Grand Prix. That's all we're gonna say.
So many of the races are in Europe, and then that means European time or American time, which is still a lot closer to European time. There's not like a 20-something hour time difference.
We spend most of the calendar up in the middle of the night. Luckily, I have a terrible sleep schedule as is, but we spend most of the race calendar up in the middle of the night to watch these sessions. With Coda being possibly one of the worst for us, with most of the sessions being like 4, 5, 6 a.m. Which was funny because I'd gotten home from work at like 2
Yeah.
the night before the sprint race. And by the time I finally crawled into bed, it was 4 a.m. The last time I checked my phone was 4:15, and then at 4:45 my alarm went off
It's
to get
time
ready
to
for the
get
sprint race
up.
and get ready for the day.
I don't know
I
how
had
you do
had
it.
like 20 minutes sleep.
I can't, like, I just need sleep. Even it's weird, like I'll have a lot of sleep and still be tired, but then I think like the perfect amount for me is like 6 hours because for some reason then I'm like awake. But just waking up is impossible for me.
Oh yeah.
I cannot get
Oh
up.
yeah. No, I don't need sleep. I run on pure spite.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Cowboys. Thank you. Um, Sprint race is pretty interesting. I will be honest, I don't really know what was happening at the back of the pack because I was very focused on all the excitement that was going on at the front of the pack, which seems to always be the case. But anyway, um, biggest things to happen were the Ferraris fighting, but fighting fairly. Fighting fairly. It was good,
Okay.
clean racing.
Honest fighting.
Going for those risky overtakes to make it work, and yeah, they did very well.
Why am I suddenly yawning?
You mentioned sleep, and now I can't.
Whoops.
Um, we saw Lando go from P4 to P2 at the very start. Great double overtake in that beginning section. Phenomenal. Man's had what, like 16 or 19 laps for the sprint race. I can't remember now. Either way, minimum amount of laps, make it work for him, and he did. Because people always say he can't get a good start in these races. Prove him wrong. He's proving them wrong.
Putting the work and
He
proving them wrong.
really is. So it was a constant battle at the front for tyre management, keeping it well, but also just risky little overtakes, just trying their best to get those little overtakes. And honestly, most of them worked out pretty well. Unfortunately, towards the end, Sainz did get the overtake on Leclerc. He got the move done brilliantly, which then had him fighting for the top of the pack with Norris and Verstappen. Due to an unfortunate lockup from Lando, Carlos got through.
But that's like
And then
both your faves, so
yeah, let me tell you, Coda was a rough weekend for me. And not just because I haven't had access to my Twitter account, which was probably for the best.
yeah, probably.
Because the amount of times I would have said something very inappropriate about Cowboy Carlos, probably for the best. I didn't have my account for a weekend. Still don't have it back. Top 10 for the sprint race. Oh, hold on. Other thing that happened, track limits, penalties, because it's very important I speak about this right now. A lot of people got penalties for exceeding track limits and gaining an advantage, for pushing other drivers off track, that kind of thing. Remember this. This is going to be a key factor. So top 10 were Oscar Piastri in 10th, Sergio Perez in 9th, Nico Hulkenberg in 8th, and Kevin Magnussen in 7th. Both the Hasses inside the points.
Pretty cool.
Lewis Hamilton in 6th, George Russell in 5th, Charles Leclerc in 4th, Lando Norris in 3rd, Carlos Sainz in 2nd, and Max Verstappen in 1st.
When was the last time Max Verstappen had a win? Because
back in like June, July.
Yeah, so it's been
So
a while
this was the
actually.
first. This was the first time he's had a win in a very long time, which I think I think he needed. But anyway, well, he didn't need it. I didn't want it because obviously it screws Lando a little bit in the championship standings. But for his own mentality, he needed it.
Yeah, because he was doing really well for a long time, so many wins. But now that it's like it's been quite a big gap.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
But as I was talking about before, no Franco in the collar points for the sprint race. No Franco in the collar points
Yeah. Um. No. Why did I think he was in the points?
because he started. He was in top 10 for qualifying, for sprint qualifying,
Oh.
but he unfortunately got overtaken. Get back. Anyway, on to qualifying. We're just gonna start where I was like, oh, do we talk about it? No. All right. Q1 exit, first five out. Jack Renew, Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, Franco Colapinto, and Alex Albon.
They
The
they got out. Like
yeah,
how
the Williams just did not have a good qualifying run. But
not
same with Hamilton.
good.
He couldn't get a good enough time in, and
Yeah.
then ran out of time.
Has Hamilton won anything recently?
Yeah,
When?
I don't remember which one was his last one. I think the British Grand Prix was his last one.
Oh,
Um,
and that's his home race,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. There might have been another one after that. I might be blanking.
Mm.
We've spoken about so many, and I don't know where we're up to. What was the closest one in the calendar? Either way, this is the lowest he has started at Coda. This is the first time he's been out of the top 10. He just couldn't improve on his lap time. It is what it is.
Wow.
Next five out. Not even starting the session, which honestly doesn't really matter because he had massive grid penalty anyway, due to changing elements on the car before he even stepped into the car. Liam Lawson, Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon, Nico Hülkenberg, and Yuki Tsunoda. Sorry, Yuki. Leading us to the top 10 of Sergio Perez, Kevin Magnussen, Fernando Alonso, Pierre Gasly,
Yeah, Gasly
crunching the points.
in the top 10. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Um, mind you, we'll talk about it more later. Um, the Alpine for this weekend did look like a McLaren, so we did like to joke about the
What do you
fact that
mean?
they thought they were driving a McLaren, and that's how it did well. I'll explain more later. Um, George Russell, Oscar Piastri, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, and Lando Norris on pole. In saying that, I will admit the fact Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen were on a very good flying last lap before the time ran out,
Mm.
but unfortunately could not improve on their times due to George Russell spinning it into a wall at the very end.
Uh-oh.
At the very end.
Making
So
friends with the wall.
again, he was okay. Uh, but yeah, it meant that Lando was safely on pole. Because no one, because no one could improve their time. Thank you, George Russell. Appreciate ya. Anyway, the race. The race. We got. Why am I? Why can't I get to it? Oh my god. Here we go. We got 56 laps around the circuit of the Americas. 56 of them bad boys. Of
56 what?
varying.
Laps.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Wait, what's the average actually?
It's around the 50, 60s.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the track like? Is it like,
Lots of ups and downs. And
That's fun.
lots of corners.
that's fun.
Lots of corners. Yeah, the elevation of this one is phenomenal. So honestly, it's one of my favorite tracks of all time. Seeing them because of when the race is run, usually a bit of a sunset lap during
Oh,
the sessions.
pretty.
So you very much get them come around. I can't remember which turn it is, but you've got the big tower with the massive American flag behind them.
Yeah.
And it becomes some of the most beautiful shots of these cars that you will ever see in these
Ooh.
sunset laps.
Pretty.
Just gorgeous. Gorgeous. It actually is where a lot of people say this is their favorite edits that were ever made. But the Leclerc sunset lap, Verstappen storm lap comes from. So there's an edit of Leclerc coming down that corner during the sunset,
Yeah.
and then just as it turns, it's seamless. It's seamless. Goes into Verstappen's Brazilian lap where there's just a massive storm that's rolled in, and the skies are just dark.
Ooh.
I'll show you it after. It's the most gorgeous, gorgeous edit
I
because
honestly,
it's so smooth.
I think there's gonna be rain coming soon here.
Yeah, I know, and we gotta still walk a dog. Let's get this done so we can go get Chance. A lot of drama happened in the race with track limits again. Something that happened very early on is obviously Lando started on pole. Lando lost that lead, which everyone loves to talk about. But this time, everyone agrees it was not his fault. Because this time, he was pushed very much off track
right, yeah.
by Max Verstappen, which let Charles Leclerc through straight away and screwed everyone's race because Leclerc knows once he gets through, he's good to go. Like, if those two are fighting, he finds a way through, he's good to go. We did unfortunately see a lot of drama throughout the race then, because you had Verstappen and Norris going head to head trying to get those overtakes done, and obviously tire management, that kind of thing, trying to build gaps so when they do pit, is it going to be an undercut? Like, what are we doing? Quite a few penalties got thrown out during this race because quite a few people were running other drivers off track, whether intentional or accidental. The most notable being George Russell. And the reason I bring this one up is because what happened with George and how he accidentally ran somebody else off track and then gained an advantage and got his penalty became a big topic of conversation later in the race. Because, first of all, why did that happen to him but not Verstappen on lap 1? Towards the end of the race, it did happen again. Once again between Verstappen and Norris, where Verstappen had pushed Norris so far off track that he himself left the track.
That's
obviously
a little
Lando taking evasive maneuvers did get in front of Verstappen with this because he had nowhere else to go. And he wasn't told to give the position back or anything because, yes, technically he left the track and gained an advantage, but they both left the track.
Yeah.
And he also did not leave the track on purpose. He was pushed off. It's a whole thing. He then gained a 10-second penalty for this.
For being even though pushed off the track.
But also not being told to give the position back. But anyway. At this point, Sainz had slipped his way through well and truly by now. We knew that the top step of this race had already been decided, and the second. It was fighting for that third podium position. So the top 10 for the race. Oh, something else I forgot to mention. I'm so stupid. One DNF in the race. One DNF. Lewis Hamilton, lap 3.
Oh.
Yeah, beaching it into the gravel.
3?
Yeah, beaching it into the gravel.
That's kind of sad.
The only DNF of the race. He was safe. Yeah. I almost forgot that.
Did anything cause it, or?
Just spun out. And went into the gravel. So, top 10 of the race. Starting off strong in the collar points, Franco Colapinto.
Yeah.
From qualifying so far back, making top 10.
He's doing pretty good.
He's phenomenal. Please let us keep him. Anyway, ninth, we saw Liam Lawson. Eighth, we saw Nico Hulkenberg. Seventh, we saw Sergio Perez. Sixth, we saw George Russell. Fifth, we saw Oscar Piastri. Due to the penalty, in fourth, we saw Lando Norris. He should have been ahead of Verstappen, but due to
Yeah.
the time being
I
added
just
on.
I don't really get why he was penalized for something out of his control
We'll
that
get to
wasn't
this.
his fault.
Third, obviously, Max Verstappen. Second, Carlos Sainz. And first, having another race win this year, Charles Leclerc. So congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Honestly, very good race run by the Ferraris. I can't be mad about that. Like, credit where credit's due. Genuinely, congratulations. No bitterness towards them. They ran a great race and great strategy.
Yeah.
Quite impressed by it. Obviously, proud of Carlos. It was noted after the race by the FIA that they reviewed the footage and did see that both cars were off track. Both cars did go off track. So Lando's penalty was reduced to a 5-second penalty. And that's it.
But it's still not really fair because did Verstappen get any penalty?
That's why I said that's it. So not only did they note that it wasn't Lando's fault, it was Max who had A, pushed him off, and B, was off the track as well. Lando still had a penalty, a lesser one, but still a penalty, and Verstappen got nothing. So they've admitted that A, Verstappen was in the wrong, and B, he was also off track, and still did nothing about it.
I think that's just unfair.
Yes, so everyone is up in arms about this.
Yeah.
Right. I've never seen Leclerc fans defend Norris. Trust me, they love to shit talk on Norris. So to see them even be like, sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
Is shocking. But also, George Russell over the radio asked about it. He asked about it and said, did Verstappen get a penalty for that? And Toto went, nope.
Wow.
Nope. And trust me, we're going to be talking about this because George Russell got a penalty for the same thing. For doing the same thing Max Verstappen did. And Max did not get a penalty. So obviously him and Toto are like, sorry?
How does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Nothing's come of it still. And we are now filming this once again during media day for the Mexican Grand Prix. But yes, nothing has come of it so far, which is very annoying. Is what it is. Leaving it behind. Media, quickly talk about that because Lando still blamed himself. He does think what happened was unfair, as does everyone. But, you know, he's taken it on the chin, as he always does, shockingly. Verstappen decided to make comments about how they're just being crybabies about it. How the other teams are just being crybabies about this.
Wow.
But if that had happened to him,
not very classy. That's kind of just gross.
So obviously, a lot of people are upset with Verstappen right now. Not that he really cares, because he's a multimillionaire, and still reigning current world champion. But yes, everyone is very upset with this because what do you mean? What's good for one is not. What's good for everyone is not good for one.
Yeah.
Let's just say that because it seems a little bit suspicious that there is favoritism there. Anyway, fastest lap went to, shockingly, the French of Esteban Ocon.
Oh. That's different.
Yeah, right. While I speak about that, media as well, Franco Colapinto found out about this and how the French got it, and he said, they're wasting tyres. They need to think about the environment. Thank you, Franco.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Thank you, Franco Colapinto.
Just letting his intrusive thoughts win.
Honestly, I hope they never media train him or
Yeah.
filter him because it's so refreshing and beautiful to see. Fastest pit stop went to McLaren with a 2.21, and driver of the day honestly deserved for how well he ran the race. Charles Leclerc. Can't be mad about that.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of the Austin Grand Prix, the first of the triple header, the sixth last race of the year, which means after this one, we've got 5 episodes left.
Damn, we're really getting there, aren't we? I can't believe that. It's almost like been an entire race. Yeah.
It's been almost an entire year. We're in
Yeah.
October. We're at the end of October now.
I can't believe how fast this year has gone. It's kind of scary.
Yeah. 5 more episodes before we also take a big break. But next year we come back for our first episode being our home Grand Prix, which we will be at.
Woohoo! Yes, we will be there. So exciting.
Yeah.
Planning outfits and stuff already.
Yeah, we got months and we're like, we got to plan out.
Yeah.
I
it's
already
important.
know mine.
I do not. I probably will leave it
Till last night.
till the very, very last minute.
Yeah. But other than that, it's been wonderful speaking about my favorite race of the year. We will see you next week for the Mexican Grand Prix.
Mexico. Is it in Mexico City that they hold it?
Yep.
That's cool.
And one final message for you all. The most important to come out of CODA, besides the fact that Danny Rick was robbed of his home race, his second home race, is save a horse, ride a cowboy. Thank you. We may end the episode now.
I don't want to end it on that.
Save a horse,
Ride a
cowboy.
cowboy. Okay, yeah, it's a good song. Goodbye, everyone.